There are two kinds of people in this world, the ones who follow the grain and the ones willing to go against it. Welcome to Against the Grain. Business lessons, life, and liquor served one cocktail at a time. Tonight's drink is poured. Let's see where the conversation takes us.
All right, welcome to Against the Grain. We're doing something a little bit different with this podcast. We actually are going to have a guest with us. So before we introduce our guest, let me say hello to my co-host, Nick. Hey, Nick.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing today?
Welcome. I'm doing great. Welcome, Kevin. Glad to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Kevin. So Kevin Morron is with us, and Kevin is from up around the Lake Erie in Ohio. Was just telling us that he's located between Sandusky and Cleveland. So, Kevin, you're our first guest ever. So, welcome to the show.
Grateful. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so we'll get into a little bit more of your background and why you're here, Kevin, in just a sec. But before we really get started, I want to change also a little bit up. We usually start by introducing what we're drinking. And, I've been following along the SEO and clicks and that sort of thing. And one of the suggestions was, hey, maybe early on in the show, you start talking about what this show is about rather than a few minutes down the line. So let's kick off with what we call the sip. Now, the sip, Kevin, is we loosely are basing episodes on chapters of my book, Against the Grain. And in each chapter, we have a sip. And then a proof. And the sip is kind of something to think about, and the proof is something maybe a little more actionable. So we're structuring the shows around that same concept. So the sip for this show is coming from chapter 6 in the book, and it is that marketing earns attention and branding earns trust. So that's going to kind of set the table for our conversation. Marketing earns attention and branding earns trust. So before we get into it, though, let's talk about what we're having to drink. So how about we'll have our guest go first here, Kevin. Do you have anything that you're sipping on today?
I do. It's a multi-layered. I felt I'd pull out my fancy cup. I got my oak sip. It's
nice.
An oak vessel, charred on the inside. My wife got it for me one year for Father's Day, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking some Jefferson's Ocean Age Voyage 34. So I am a sailor. Which I'm sure we'll get to, but so that's what I'm drinking on. Just straight up neat.
Straight up neat. Is Ocean Aged just part of the name, or is it actually Ocean Aged?
It is actually Ocean Age. So Jefferson does a line where they will actually put it in the barrels, and as it's aging, they put it out to sea on commercial vessels. And you can actually, if you look up the voyage, you can see the different continents it went to, the oceans it sailed. And the concept that they, started out with, well, back in the early days of whiskey and bourbon, it was commonly transported on the rivers. And they thought that the movement of being on the water got more of the whiskey in contact with the barrel, which brought out more flavor. So it's kind of this experiment they started. Like I said, this is Voyage 34. So this is the 34th batch that they've done now. They've been doing it for probably at least 10 years, I'd say.
I bought a bottle in 2012, I remember. So
yeah, it's almost got like a little briny taste to it. It's pretty good. I like it.
You've had it, Nick?
Yeah, I've had it before.
Okay, I'll have to get me some and give it a try.
There's a place in Springfield that sells it, like Keg and Cork, I think.
That sounds like a good place.
Good name, anyways. Fits right in with our theme, too. All right, let's introduce Kevin a little bit. So, Kevin, you gave me a little bit of your bio. Retired U.S. Coast Guard veteran, 20 years, performing planning and leading search and rescue. That's pretty awesome. Law enforcement, homeland security, environmental protection operations. So, thank you for that service. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my pleasure.
So, Kevin is also a full-time recruiter, solopreneur, soccer dad, and Nick, get this, Bigfoot enthusiast.
Oh, nice. Well, Bigfoot's an alien, isn't he?
It fits right in. Yeah.
There's a lot. Speaking of brand story, Bigfoot, of course, has many, right? So, and there are people that are like that. It's a myth, don't believe in this at all. There are people that think, it's a real creature that kind of traverses between realms, right? And there are others that are like, no, it's a physical creature right here on Earth, just very elusive. And then, Nick, there are others that say, Bigfoot's an alien. So there you go.
Well, what do you
Kevin, we
guys
tried to get
think?
I think they're in cahoots. They're just messing with us. They're probably joking around like, look at these fools trying to look for us, and we got them.
We got him. We got him. Well, that's interesting. So, actually, if you think about your entire background, everything that you shared with us, it's really quite a brand story in and of itself. I'm curious, do you use that as a solopreneur?
So it's interesting. Yes, but probably not in the way that you think. So the solopreneur part is really, it was just something that was born out of a hobby. Um, I got into leather work. A buddy of mine started showing me some things, and I got hooked. So I decided that, I would turn it into a business, really more for just ideas on new things to make. People would reach out and say, hey, can you make this for me? I'm like, I don't know. I'll have to give that a try. And then I'd try to, and that was how I was learning. And I just kept doing that. And I've been at it for probably about 5 years now. The business itself is about 2.5 years old, but it's, I say business very loosely. I mean, I'm registered as a business. I usually do maybe 2 to 3 commissions a year. The rest of it is really just building my craft. The ultimate goal is someday I'll retire again for good this time, and just pick this up full time, and just make artisan leather crafts and products, and
Yeah. That's
yeah.
cool. A lot of people end up going into business that way. They've got some sort of hobby or something that they do on the side just because they love it, and then find a way to turn it into a business. So
Yeah. I think where the brand comes in though is really, I joined. My story started in vocational high school, and I was doing manufacturing work. I was a computer assisted design student, um, and I ended up getting a shop through that program, working at a tool and die shop. I became a tool and die apprentice for about a year. And then I just at that point decided I just turned 19. I thought I need to do something bigger. My father was a police officer at the time. He retired after 26 years. He was in the military. My grandfathers were both in the military, and I had an uncle who was a Cleveland firefighter. And so service was always kind of um, you know, a banner statement in my life. I was just always around it. And um, so I decided to join the Coast Guard. It was kind of a mashup of police and fire. I got that search and rescue element, the law enforcement side, and I wanted to, service to others, and I wanted to help people. And that's really the brand that I was able to build throughout my time in the Coast Guard. When it came time to retire, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. But I had done recruiting for a few years while I was in the service, and I thought, maybe I'll give this a shot. I'll look into this further. This could be a good career, relatively low stress. Boy, was I wrong. Um, but I thought I'd explore it, and I really stumbled upon my now employer as I was in my initial job hunt. Although we didn't link up for a few years after my retirement, I had a few other jobs, but he was really promoting manufacturing in the Rust Belt region, so northern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, um, you know, Michigan, south part of Michigan, and he was putting videos out. He was his branding, and he was just really came across as very passionate. I thought, I really love manufacturing. I really love my time working in a machine shop, and a lot of people don't realize everything we see around us came from someone who made it, right?
yeah,
And whether it
right.
was through a manufacturing process of machines or by hand, and I just thought it's a really valuable and instrumental piece of our economy, our world,
Mhm.
and recruiting. As I found, looking for a job really sucks.
Yeah,
So it's an opportunity to help people, right? So I'm getting to help people, good people, find good jobs with good companies. So I've really been able to kind of carry that forward. Just helping others is I would say that is my brand.
that's great. That's awesome. So let's backtrack a little because we moved on. I didn't even ask Nick what is he having today. So Nick, what do you have? What are you
A little
drinking?
grapefruit vodka with some water.
Taking it kind of easy
Refreshing.
today. I have what I'm calling holy water, although it looks a little bit more like toilet water. I think maybe people wouldn't drink it if I called it that, but it's this cocktail kind of made up, put in the book actually. And this is the one that we'll post on the website next to the link for the podcast. But it's moonshine. I happen to be using a vodka moonshine, but you can use a multigrain or a corn. And it's got some sweet vermouth in it, orange peel, a little bit of bitters, and it's actually it kind of reminds me, guys, of almost like if you like martinis and you like old fashions, you'd probably like this because it's almost kind of a blend between the two, but actually a little lighter than either one. So not bad.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
Tell you what, next time I see you, John, you can make me one to prove to me how good it is.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. We'll give it a whirl. See what you think. So, all right. Hey, so going back to the proof and the topic of this show, it kind of weaves into brand stories and what's brand story. We can tie this right directly into Bigfoot because there's a pretty cool brand story out there. It's actually a company that made the brand story about the customer, and it's Jack Link's beef jerky. Actually, Nick, you mentioned beef jerky a few episodes back. Some alien beef jerky that you had.
That's right.
out in
Yeah.
Roswell. But Jack Link's, the people at Jack Link's, decided that, hey, who are our customers? Our customers, they're kind of adventurous. They're kind of mischievous. They're rugged. And so they decided, let's build a brand platform around how they were defining their customers. And they built this wild side platform that eventually became the Messin' with Sasquatch commercial series, which has been highly successful.
Brilliant marketing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So I'm really kind of curious, Kevin. You said you're a Bigfoot enthusiast. What's that mean? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I get this question a lot. So I'll say, quick fun story. There was a second annual Bigfoot Festival in Middlefield, Ohio, a couple weekends ago. My father-in-law, who lives out that way, brought me a pamphlet, proof that he loves me. And he said, "Hey, check this out. You should go." So I went with my mother-in-law and my daughter, who's 12, and we were at um, it was an expert discussion, and there were 4 or 5 Bigfoot experts, and they were sharing their experiences. My daughter shot me a few looks, and I thought I better clarify with her what my Bigfoot enthusiasm is, because those looks that she was giving me during those talks, I was like, I don't want her to lump me in with that group. So for me, I started my Coast Guard career in 2001 out in Washington State. I was on a ship out there. And, when you're on a ship and you're out at sea, you stand 4-hour watches any time of day. And, the best ones were, the mids, 12 midnight to 4 in the morning, because there's usually nothing going on. So you're just sitting up there on the bridge of the ship and you're shooting the breeze with the other 4 people that you're up there with. And one of the guys grew up in Washington, and he talked all the time about how he saw Bigfoot out there, and Bigfoot's living in the mountains, and it's just all these tales about Bigfoot. And I was like, okay. So then, when we were back in port and had off time, we'd get up into the mountains and we'd go hiking and we'd go looking for Bigfoot. And I've always been an outdoor enthusiast, and I think that's really where the passion really lies for me. If I can get out on my kayak and say I'm looking for Bigfoot, or just go hiking down a good path, get my bike out on a trail, it's about being out in nature. And I love the idea of there's still things in this world that we haven't discovered yet.
Yeah.
And why can't Bigfoot be one of them?
Yeah. Why not? Why not? So,
I actually do have a Bigfoot story.
let's hear it.
Two years ago, maybe, I just randomly found a pamphlet very similar to what you're talking about for a Sasquatch festival, and Turtle Man was going to be there. If you know who Turtle Man is.
Yes, I do.
So I packed up, the wife and the kids, and we went down there, and it was literally just Turtle Man in a tent taking pictures with people for $5 a piece, and a bunch of people selling Sasquatch junk.
Nice.
That was the whole thing.
Well, I do have some evidence. I don't know if it's going to translate on the camera here, but my brother's into it as well. If you can look, that's my foot in the little green sock shoe thing, and there's a footprint next to it for size reference.
So you actually found a footprint.
I found a footprint. This is out at Salt Fork, which is supposed to be the Ohio Grassman headquarters.
Yeah.
Wow. So that was another example or reason it's something fun. I mean, my brother and I took my middle niece out. She was probably 12 or 13 at the time, and so she likes watching the Bigfoot shows with my brother, and we're like, let's go take her out. Let's go camping. We'll make a 2-day trip out of it. We hiked about 10.5 miles that day through Salt Fork. And it was great. It was a learning experience for her. Hopefully she doesn't listen to this, but she had Taco Bell for the first time on the way down. And I heard a lot of rustling in the night. I don't
know. That's pretty awesome. All right. So, hey, Nick, let's go to you for a second. So we had the Sasquatch brand story. We've got Kevin's background and what's kind of a brand story for him. And by the way, I think you should lean into that, Kevin, because it could help you sell some leather products. I'm absolutely certain of that. But Nick, how about you? I know you work for a company, but you yourself, I'm sure you have your own kind of brand story for you individually. Or do you have any brand stories that you'd like to share?
I mean, I would say for me, like, my brand has evolved significantly over the last, since I've been doing work. I mean, I started as an entry-level salesperson, and I would say ornery is a good word to describe how I was as an employee. I was good, but I didn't cause problems, but I'm always jabbering, whatever. I think now it's evolved to, Nick still likes to have fun, but he also knows to get the job done, and he's a reliable source of information. It's definitely evolved in a good way.
Yeah.
That was the key, in a good way.
Good. Consciously, you consciously chose to evolve it, correct?
Well, some of it was just I've grown up. I'm not 18 years old anymore, but yes, especially I'd say the last 5 years, very consciously.
So in the book Against the Grain, in chapter 6, there's a couple of characters that talk about. One of them, actually, Nick, you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Popcorn Sutton. His name kind of has become synonymous with moonshine. Anybody that's a fan of moonshine in any way, shape, or form knows that name. And when you hear it, that's all you immediately think about. So he very consciously went after that, right? He wanted to be Mr. Moonshine, basically. There's another character that I talk about that lived back in the late 1800s and through Prohibition, and her name's Bertie Brown. Really fascinating story. Single black woman that relocated all on her own in the late 1800s, I believe from Missouri out to Montana, real rural area in Montana, which a lot of Montana, that's what it is anyway. But back in the late 1800s, did that all by herself, created a homestead through the Homestead Act, and then started making liquor. And through Prohibition, people came from multiple states around out to get some of Bertie's shine. So she created her own brand story back before we had, the internet, Google, TV ads, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just word of mouth.
Just word of mouth. She was just doing it. Yeah.
I think that's a great point right there. Just, you talked about Nick's evolution from where he started, where he is now. And yeah, think about the evolution of marketing and branding from the 1800s to now, where everything's in your face.
Yeah. And even now, how it's changing. Nick, I don't want to steal your thunder, but last week you were talking about how just the AI has changed the algorithms with Google reviews, right? So, and how that's impacted you.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely has. I mean, you have to coach to it now.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, I never would have ever had to mention that.
Yeah. So it's changing all the time, rapidly evolving. And, also to your point, Nick, about evolving, I had to do that as well. I've always had sort of this personal side or personal, the personality if you met me at a party versus the personality if you met me at work, and they were usually not the same. And I previously wrote a business book, and you know, I wasn't me through the marketing of it. What marketing I did, which wasn't a lot, to be honest with you. Um, you know, so I struggled a little bit with my LinkedIn persona when it came time to start promoting this book, because I've always kind of been serious on LinkedIn, and but ultimately I thought, I'm not like a Simon Sinek or a Peter Drucker or any of those kind of famous consultants that they have their own brands, but they're pretty serious or intense, and it's just not who I am. So with the first book, I thought maybe I needed to be that more like that, and more buttoned up, and it's not authentic for me, so I had to really think about that. And my brand is really centered on storytelling, a little bit of humor, a little bit of sarcasm, relaxed and informal. That's me. That's genuine, and so that's the approach that I've taken to marketing the book, and now this podcast as well. But you have to do. I think you have to do what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with who you're presenting yourself as, then you should change it.
You're saying be yourself.
Be yourself. Yeah. Kevin, I'm sure as a recruiter, you see that all the time in people.
Absolutely. I just had a conversation with someone the other day, and they took a job they thought was going to be a better opportunity. They lost the job within the first week.
Whoa.
So I was helping them look for another position, and he shared the whole story with me. I'm very transparent. I lay it all out on the table. I don't want to waste anybody's time, right? So I shared the whole story with the employer. The employer bit. They wanted to interview the person. Interview went really well. The kid, I'm going to call him a kid. He was probably in his mid 20s. So not a ton of work experience, but and he was saying he kept talking in the interview like he was still working at his two employers ago. And I said, well, why were you saying that? I said, you aren't working there. He goes, oh, well, someone told me that I should do that because I was only at this other place for a week and it would look bad. And I said, look, it's going to look even worse now once the truth comes out, and they're going to say, well,
Mm-hmm.
you were dishonest with us. I said, you came right out to me and said, I took this job. This is what happened and why it didn't work out. You were authentic. I believed you. We went with it and we got you the interview using the truth. And so I used that as the guy I got him an offer and he took a job with someone else. But that goes back to my branding. I had a lot of really long conversations with him and I said, look, you know, if you don't take the job that I'm, helping you get, that's fine. As long as it's not the best job for you, right? I want you to find the job that's the right fit for you and for your young family. And so, yeah, I think that goes back to be yourself, be authentic. Everybody's got an opinion, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, take other people's advice from time to time and hear what they have to say. But at the end of the day, you need to sit with it and you need to determine, does that make sense for me and for this situation? Or can I take something from that and make a better informed decision for myself, actionable off of that advice?
All right, we're going to just do a little commercial for the book Against the Grain, as well as our website. So the website is champagneShine.com, and that's champagne like ChampAign, shine.com. and the book is Against the Grain. Come on out to the website. This is where you can catch the podcasts, blog posts, articles, etc. Join our distiller circle. You can get a little bit of behind the scenes information, a free sample of the chapter 1 of the book. But be part of it. We'd love to have you come out there. Also, if you've got ideas for the show, shoot them over as well. You can do that through the website. You want to be a guest? I think this experiment's going pretty well. So give us a pitch why you'd like to be a guest on our show. So Nick, what do you think?
First 25 people that sign up will get a signed basketball from Jon and Kevin.
A signed basketball.
That's right.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a leather one? Is it a leather one, or is it one of those, plastic
ones? It's open to interpretation. I was more thinking a foam ball, but we can do full-size basketballs.
Foam balls are more affordable, so I like that.
Yeah. I might have some scrap leather we could tape it onto it or something.
Yeah.
Could be a joint venture. We would only do one if that was the case. If you're making the leather basketball, I'm guessing that takes a very long time.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Kazoos, and this week or the week before it was fiddle faddle. So all right, this week foam basketballs. All right,
you're up in your game.
Yeah, Nick is our marketing director. So
that's correct. Yeah, it's working. So it's working great. We've had so many signups.
Yes.
Excellent.
All right. So let's wrap this part of the show up with the proof. So the proof out of chapter 6 is that you need to build a brand story that's rooted in who you actually are, and then make sure that everything, your name, your voice, your visuals, customer experience, all of it tells that same story consistently across every channel. And that can be a challenge as well, because different channels, different social media channels have different audiences, different purposes. And so the catch is you have to tailor it for the platform, but you have to make it consistent enough that wherever those potential customers are finding you, or followers are finding you, they know who you are in every case. So with that, I think it is time. Kevin, I don't know if you can hear the music or not, but the intro music to Nick's Mash has begun. So Nick, it is time for your mash.
Cool. So just so you know, Kevin, these are all, I'm making them up on the spot. Okay. So I want this one to be a little more interactive. Okay. All right. Something happened to me in the last week. I don't want to name any names, but I have been shopping for new car insurance, and something came to mind. You guys know what the milkshake moment is? The milkshake moment, it's a book that I read years and years ago about businesses not being able to get things done because they block their employees into thinking one way. So lady went to I think it was a McDonald's, and she asked for a vanilla milkshake, and at the time they didn't make a vanilla milkshake. Long story short, the McDonald's couldn't make it, even though they have all the ingredients to make a vanilla milkshake, and they're losing revenue around it. So I kind of want to know, has there ever been a situation where you guys have had a milkshake moment? So, or that you guys have created one or potentially solved one? That's really what I'm looking for.
That's putting us on the spot. I don't know. I'm going to try to defer to Kevin while I try to think of something clever to say.
I think I'm gonna dig back into my Coast Guard history experience, and there's so the bulk of my career was spent on Lake Erie, and on Lake Erie, we're responsible for federal law enforcement, so enforcing any federal laws that are applicable to the lake, which includes international border and commercial activity, recreational activity. But there's bounds, right? There are limits to the authority that the Coast Guard has. But there's other ingredients on the lake in that law enforcement bowl. There's state watercraft. There's local police departments that are along the coastline that have law enforcement boats that they use. And everybody's authority is a little bit different. So what we found is if there's a problem that we need to tackle, One of those being, we'll say, human trafficking, one of the more serious ones out on the western side of the lake. Well, there were certain limits on the federal side. There were certain limits on the state side, certain limits on the local city side. But when we put all three together, we were a very strong force and we could overcome many of those limiting factors. So yeah, I think we made a milkshake out of our authorities and our capabilities, and we made it work.
All right. Well, that helped me out, Kevin. So
Right.
because you're talking about federal, I actually do have a what I think is what you're describing as a milkshake moment, Nick. So I was working for an insurance company, and I have a background in government contracting, so federal contracts, state and local government contracts. So I'm very comfortable in that world. But I was with an insurance company, and sure enough, an opportunity at the federal level came up. It was insurance related, and it was for some business services that really any insurance company provides. And I had some connections at the federal government that were kind of behind this opportunity, and I thought this would be a really good opportunity for us to go for, kind of bring in some new revenue. Is worth, I don't know, maybe $10 million a year in revenue. So pretty decent sized contract, right? And did all the homework and legwork, presented it within the company, and there was some discussion, and it did go to the legal department that ultimately came back and said, we're not a contracting company. We're not interested in government contracts. So we're not going to go after this. And their arguments made sense. There wasn't anything inherently wrong with their argument, but it was an opportunity that we left on the table that we probably had a pretty decent chance of winning. Does that fit your narrative?
I would say so. In my experience, it has been a lot more specific to retail sales or retail environment. For instance, we sell a combo case, screen protector, car charger, right? Well, if we only sold it in one box and a customer only needed a screen protector and we didn't carry screen protectors, it'd be an awful dumb way to lose a bunch of money, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Indeed it would. All right. Milkshake moment. Is that your mash?
It's been mashed.
All right.
Well, gentlemen, I think we've covered just about everything I wanted to cover. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add or talk about while we're here?
Thank you again for having me. It's been a pleasure. I'm excited to read the book when it comes out.
Yeah.
And staying in touch.
September 15th, available pre-order for Kindle now. But the paperback is available September 15th. No pre-order. I don't know why they do that. Amazon, they don't do a pre-order on the paperback sales or hard copy or hardcover sales.
Now, when will the pre-order deliver on Kindle?
Same. None of it becomes actually truly available until September 15th. But for whatever reason, the gods at Amazon said you can pre-order Kindle, but you can't pre-order the hard copy.
The algorithm.
Yeah, the algorithm.
Yeah, that seems like a milkshake moment.
Hey, you might be right. Maybe that's a great example, Nick.
So, it is a good example. I mean, how many sales could you have captured in that time?
Probably 2 or 3.
Minimum.
Hey, that's real money. You guys couldn't have planned that any better.
Thank you, Mr. Bezos. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, thanks very much, Kevin. Thanks for being our first guest. So you're welcome to come back anytime you might like, and we'll get into more Bigfoot and alien kind of connections next time.
John, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to get Turtle Man as a guest, and Kevin, I want you on it too.
Do it. Please. Yes, I'm in.
You make it
John,
happen.
You gotta look up Turtle Man. He's just he's a wild dude. Just so you know, he's missing like 8 of his front teeth, and he said that he lost them because a chainsaw hit him in the mouth.
Oof.
A chainsaw hit him in the
Yeah,
mouth.
don't you just
that.
like?
That'll...
Let's hear the story behind that. That's what I'm going to ask him if he's on this podcast. Tell us that story.
Yeah.
Paint us a picture, Turtle Man.
Yeah. How does a chainsaw hit you in the mouth?
Mm.
And how does it take your teeth without doing anything else?
I don't know. It's probably really hard to eat a banana, though.
That's probably the only thing he can eat. I'd say real hard to eat a steak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's got his back teeth. You can chew on
that's
it.
true.
It's gonna be hard to...
I wonder if that makes him better at Bigfoot calling.
Probably does.
The lack of teeth.
Get a special tone to his screech, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had turtle meat?
I have had turtle meat before.
You have
turtle meat? No.
Yeah, it tasted like fish to me. Is what it tasted like to me. I wasn't a fan.
My dad used to. He'd occasionally bring home a snapper, and he'd have my mom make turtle soup, which I haven't had it in years. I recall it tasting okay, but
is it white meat? Is it a real light, flaky meat like
kind of
fish?
gray.
Or?
Parts of it are whitish, but I remember it being like almost like dark red when I ate it.
You ate it raw?
No, it wasn't raw, but it was like dark meat, like really dark. The raw stuff was good though. It was good raw.
Yeah, was it? So that's great. That could be how Turtle Man really lost his teeth, was munching into the snappers.
Snapped on a turtle shell.
Yeah.
That's it. That'll do it.
I have never had frog legs though.
Oh, I've had that. Yeah.
Yeah. Frog legs are good. They do taste like a cross between chicken and fish. So
yeah, not a lot of meat.
Yeah.
I've had gator tail.
Yep. Yeah.
I've had deep fried gator back, but it didn't really have a lot of flavor.
Yeah, I think the gator tail was fried too, and yeah, I mean, it tasted like a fried stick of meat.
Yeah.
Gamey. It was very gamey. I like minerally tasting.
Yeah.
You didn't get enough sauce on it. You got to dip it deeper.
I guess. Yeah, I found out anything that's like in the water tastes like fish.
Well, yeah, it's gonna. Right, so.
Yeah. Good reason, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like that's a
reason
good
for that for sure.
Yeah.
It'd be weirder if other animals taste like fish and they were never in it. That'd be real weird.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah. I feel like this is a good place to go ahead and close out the show.
Yeah, let's end.
On that note,
I feel like we are the only 3 listeners at this point.
I thought we were done with the call. I thought we were done. We're just chatting.
let it roll.
Let it roll. All right, guys. Nick, what do you say?
Visit champagneShine.com.
No. Remember your catchphrase. We're still
I
early.
don't remember.
Consider it mashed.
I already said that.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, man, maybe I've had too many of these. I don't know. All right.
Did we just create another mash? Is
I
that
think we should.
Mashed again. Turtle meat.
mashed again?
Still mashed.
Exotic
That's
meats.
All right, guys. Thanks so much, Kevin, for taking some time with us. Really appreciate it. And thanks, Nick, as always. Great mash. And
I'm excited to see the edit of this. So
I'm not going to edit it at all. I'm just going to put the intro and the outro. That's it.
Just roll it. Let it roll. Yeah.
This is our longest one yet. So.
clip that chat.
All right,
Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Yep, see it.
Take care.
Business lessons, life, and liquor. Until next time, stay honest, stay curious, and never be afraid to go against the grain. And remember, life's about choices.